So grounding is hard. Grounding is literally discouraged in our society right now, in this industrial technological age, right? It's actually much more profitable for us to just be on the hamster wheel and not really think about ourselves, not really think about our wellness, just buy, consume, run, work, like it's actually so encouraged, and grounding is not encouraged. So it's one of those things where it's like taking the time for yourself and literally just like at your desk, if you work an office job, just like sitting for a second and taking a deep breath and just being present with where you are. Like that act alone is an act of resistance. That act alone is like an act of defiance to this narrative that you must run, and that you are not good enough, and that you always have to do this, and this so that you can succeed, and that is truly not the case. And there are so many very simple ways where we can be reminded that that is not the case, or we can be reminded that running actually just leads to burnout. And then when you're burnt out, you actually can't do as many of those things that you wanted to do. And so then you fall into the spiral of like, oh no, now I'm not producing as much as I was before. And now I don't have a lot of inherent worth anymore as a person, which is such a lie. And so it's so incredibly crucial to not only like notice when you're approaching the burnout space, but really taking those small steps so that you don't reach that. And I also want to like really not brush over the fact that there are people that do a lot of things, that like in this world that we're in, we've got to make sure that our basic needs are met. We've got to make sure that we're working this job. And if this job takes a lot out of us, then that just is what it is. Like sometimes we have to work 2 jobs, 3 jobs, just to make enough money to survive. And that is why this is especially important to do. Grounding is especially important when you live a really busy life, because it enables you to keep going and to remember your why. And taking care of yourself is the most selfless thing that you can do, because when you fill your cup enough, right? When you're filling your cup, you can pour out in different places. You can pour out for different people. You can care for people better. You can be a better parent to your children. You can be a better member of your community. You could be a better son, a better daughter, a better employee, a better employer, right? Just by being able to notice what's going on in your body. And so this is why grounding is really important. This is why wellness is really important. And this is why self-care and taking care of yourself is not a selfish act. There are a lot of stories that go around that this is like a really selfish thing to do, to take time for yourself. But it's the simple moments of like, I'm going to take 5 minutes this morning and I'm going to brew some tea, and I'm going to sit and just drink this tea and do nothing else for 5 minutes, just 5 minutes. I'm going to allow this water to boil, and I'm going to sit and do nothing as this water boils and just stand here and breathe. I'm not going to try to multitask. I'm not going to try to run in different directions while this water is boiling. I'm going to wait for it, and then I'm going to pour my cup of tea, and then it's probably going to be too hot to drink right away. So you're going to sit there and you're going to hold that cup of tea, and you're going to hold and feel the warmth in your hands. You're going to be in your body. You're going to feel the warmth of that teacup. You're going to look at the steam as it slowly skirts over the surface of the water. You're going to sit and feel how it feels to sit in your chair. You're going to breathe and notice your heartbeat. And then you're just going to drink that tea. And you're just going to breathe and drink that tea. And just focus on what you're feeling. That is grounding. That is how you ground is you focus on what your body is feeling. And I guarantee you, if you start your day like that, and like I said, just 5 minutes, we spend 5 minutes doing all kinds of stuff. We can spend 5 minutes letting water boil and drinking a cup of tea, just in silence. And then maybe, you do that for a week, and then you try 10 minutes. And then you try 15 and 20, right? And it makes such a profound shift in your day, because it allows just a little bit of breathing and just a little bit of space so that you can see more clearly. You might actually remember something that you forgot, something that happened last week that you forgot to do, or like a friend that you actually forgot to reach out to. You might actually, sitting there, in that moment of stillness, in that little break from all the running that you're doing, you might, in that moment of expansion, realize something that you forgot. Something on your to-do list that totally fell off. A friend that you forgot to reach out to, a thing that you wanted to do, or even just a spark of inspiration, a spark of creativity, maybe an idea for a story that you want to write, maybe an idea for something you want to paint, maybe, I actually want to go outside today. I actually kind of miss the sun. Or like, remember that one memory from when I was a kid and I was on this boat, or I was on the beach. It's this spaciousness that is so important for us to cultivate in every day, so that we can remember who we are and what we're doing all of this for. We're not alive to work. We're not alive to run on this hamster wheel. We're alive to be in our bodies and to feel and to have joy. And in those little tiny 5 minutes that you use to drink that tea, it's just that much bit closer to like remembering your joy and remembering yourself and who you are.